Alvaro, thank you so much for joining us. It's a great pleasure to have you at the Global Women Club. So please introduce yourself the way you do, and let's take it from there.
What's up? Good morning, good afternoon for you. I'm here in Miami and super excited to be joining this fantastic group. Thank you for the warm introduction and congratulations for what you're doing. I think it's fantastic. And putting all this together is just a lot of work, but definitely it's one of those things that I believe will have a positive impact in the long term to everybody that has joined. And it's a pleasure to meeting you all. So when it comes to myself, you summarized it pretty well. My name is Alvaro Nuñez. I was born in Madrid, Spain. I'm currently in Miami, living my version of the American dream. And I'm the CEO and founder of Super Luxury Group, which is a real estate powerhouse. We celebritize and sell multi-million-dollar homes from Miami to other jet set locations. We work with hundreds of influencers, TV producers, and all kinds of celebrities to market and sell these unique homes. Now, when it comes to my personal life, I'm a best-selling author. This is my book, Level Up. You can get it on Amazon.
Well, there is not such thing personal. Everything is business, Alvaro. That book is business. But I like that you say person, because it's a personal fulfillment, yes?
It's a personal fulfillment. It's a story about my life, but also on how to level up in life. So the whole idea in here is to go deep also within yourself, because life is not just about your career. I consider it the wheel of life. So we are our own brand. We are our own business, and how we tackle life is going to be one of those things that will determine who you are in life. And that's one of the things that I wanted to share with all of you today. And I hope that some of you will find it interesting and get those golden nuggets where you can apply those into your own personal lives.
Oh, thank you so much, Alvaro. So tell us, what inspired you to enter the real estate world, and not just a real estate world, but into a big world like United States? And what is your why behind it?
Well, like any kid, you have dreams growing up. My dream was to become a professional tennis player. And I gotta say that when I was 16 years old, that dream of becoming a professional tennis player soon started to fade away a bit because of the economic crisis that we were facing in Spain, and my father facing a heart attack and really heavy conditions in our family. The idea of investing on a coach and traveling didn't seem appealing. So I decided to go on a different route, which will still allow me to continue playing tennis at a high level, but leverage it to something that will propel me forward in my vision of life. And that was coming to the US with a scholarship. And that decision turned out to be something that led me forward to be who I am today and being here in Miami.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can see that this amazing life that you have created now, like one day I see you in a helicopter, and one day skydiving, and one day climbing in the mountain, and one day in a Cannes festival, another day speaking to a conference. So so is this a life that you designed, or somehow you consider yourself lucky?
Well, I think that lucky is an interesting word that people utilize it very freely when they see somebody succeed. I think that luck is earned. And for me, everything started by really creating a business that fulfilled my passion and visualizing the type of lifestyle that I wanted to have, and if my current vehicle will allow me to get there. And for me, I've always started by focusing on my vision, and then what's my why that will support that vision. So yes, you see me today, I'm a helicopter pilot, professional skydiver. I'm attending some of the nicest and most prestigious events around the world. And not only that, but I get to also compete on some of the toughest races in the world. I just came back from the Sahara Desert from completing the Marathon des Sables, which is considered the toughest foot race in the world. It's 6 marathons in 6 days across the Sahara Desert.
Wow.
So I get to do a bunch of different things that at the end of the day align into what I consider my vision of my life. And this is not something that somebody has to copy or emulate, but to feel empowered that you can also define what's your perfect life, what's your exciting vision that you want to go towards. And I'm far from where I want to be in life, but I'm definitely enjoying the journey.
Well, you're still young. You're very young.
Yeah.
So definitely are in a good journey.
Yes, no, thank you so much. But it's within us. Everybody has the capacity to make that happen. And we all go through ups and downs. Like the title in my book says, level up, turning your obstacles into superpowers, because every obstacle is what will really define who your next better version will be.
Well, you said it very well. Everybody has the capacity to level up. Now, are we going to talk a little bit about strategies? When, I know lots of stories of women who I've met around the world. They have great talents, great skills. They're very well experienced in whatever they do. But what do you think is most important to level up, to keep leveling up over and over again? So is any technique, any secret, any strategy, or any formula, or what is it that some people level up so quick and some people it takes for so long?
I think the key word here is momentum, right? It's not about trying to do something really big at once. It's about the incremental of little wins that will start generating momentum towards something bigger. And I just feel like there is a compound effect, right? When it comes to building those little wins that turns into all of a sudden big wins and then huge wins. And then on the overall picture, you've leveled up. Now, sometimes you gotta start with the little goals. And in order to do that, you need to break down the bigger goals. And in order to reach those bigger goals, you need to start dreaming big. A lot of people, they don't dream big enough. They set up goals that they are capable of doing. All the goals I set up are goals that seem almost impossible to do. And the whole idea here is share your goals, not just because of an accountability standpoint, but also to see if people will tell you that you're crazy. And if they're telling you that you're not crazy, then you're not dreaming big enough. So I always start by dreaming so big that it's just creating that fire inside of me, like, wow, could you imagine what would it be and how would it feel to be there? And then you create your vision that puts all these elements together. And whatever that vision might be for you, write it down. I write it down and I listen and I read it and I feel it every single morning. I write down my vision, I record myself reading it, and then I create a slideshow with all the pictures that represent that vision. So I'm trying to activate all my senses first thing in the morning to feel that I'm already living that life. And when you feel that, you start getting those goosebumps. You start getting so excited about life that you start adding that first gear towards that vehicle that will allow you to move forward. And if you add your why, we were talking about it at the beginning, right? Like if after going through your vision, you start going through your why, something that is deeper and it's a bigger purpose on why you really want to do this. My suggestion for everyone is that once you've identified your vision, go into the mirror and start asking yourself why. And then once you've answered that question, ask again, but why? And then ask again, but why? So go deep down into why you want to really live that life, why you want to really do these things. And once you start finding that why, you're going to start finding that superpower that is going to push you through anything that happens. And look, we can be speaking about multiple things, but I will say that this is the first gear towards leveling up in life.
Wow, you're so right, because we human beings are equipped with such a special gift, which is called imagination. And if we're lacking imagination, you have just shared with us a $1 million idea. Slideshow your vision. So if you're really struggling to have a clear picture in your mind, just put it together. Whatever you're thinking right now, try to put it one little bit every single day, because everything starts from the mind. And we human beings have to have that piece of reality in our mind first, and then it comes to the outside world. And I can tell now you are not accidentally successful. There is not such thing an accident. So you, as I mentioned at the beginning, you have designed your life like an architect. You write it down and you push it again a little bit more and a little bit more until you see yourself living it, until you see yourself in the helicopter driving, or until you see yourself winning a race, or speaking in big conferences, or selling millions of dollars real estate properties. So it is possible. Now, great, you're saying think big. What happens if people are scared of thinking big? How do we overcome that fear?
You know, it's a good question. And what we just talked about thinking big, everything happens twice. First in your mind and then in reality. So it's the law of attraction, manifestation, however you want to call it. But once you start putting those ideas into your mind, then slowly it's going to start happening in reality, because your actions are going to be heading towards that direction. So in order to overcome that fear of like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm capable of doing this, or there is a real thing called the fear of success. You know, a lot of people are more afraid of succeeding than of failing, which sounds crazy to me, but it's a reality. So the way that you overcome this fear, and again, everybody's different, but at least for me, what it's been something that has helped me is to put myself into situations that are out of my comfort zone. You can choose little things that pushes you to go outside of that comfort zone. Even now, when I go skydiving, I'm so afraid of skydiving. You know, I have over 500 jumps. I've skydived all around the world. I've skydived out of planes, helicopters, hot air balloons, you name it. Any crazy thing that you can think of, I've jumped off. And yet, every time that I start staring at the ground, I'm shaking. I'm so nervous. I'm so afraid. And that is just a reminder that we need to be present, that we just need to put ourselves into the moment and still do it, no matter what. Overcome that fear by doing it. And skydiving might be my medicine. There might be other things that will be for you, but identify what is something that you are afraid of and do it. Could be small, and slowly, as we initially said, you will start generating momentum. So when you start seeing yourself capable of overcoming those little fears, of overcoming those little obstacles, of overcoming those uncomfortable situations, then those big dreams no longer will be so far away or so fearful. So I think that everything starts with incremental steps, and it could be applied to anything in life. So start identifying those little uncomfortable situations that you can tap into and start winning those little moments, because that's going to generate momentum.
Wow, absolutely. You're saying feel the fear and do it anyway. Have you read that book? There is a very famous.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Now, here is another thing, Alvaro. I echo everything you're saying. You have to overcome your fears and raise yourself above your circumstances without finding excuses or blaming other people or just complaining about things in general, something that we human beings are very good at. But as we have discovered this thing called personal development and tapping into our consciousness, we have realized that we can move forward and become better and better in everything we do in life. Now, I want to come to another angle, because I believe we have attracted here entrepreneurs, women who are running their own business. And of course, we all want to succeed. And success in business doesn't mean just to tick some boxes on, let's say, marketing or, I don't know, fulfilling a few things. But at the end of the day, you have to make some money. And I really always, I want to talk about this topic, something that we women for a long time have been a little bit like resistant to talk about money, sales. Oh, I'm not here for the money. I'm here to do good. Now, you guys are much better than us in this sense, because money always have been in your hands. Now, for us, is a new thing. It's quite a new thing for the ladies to become a self-made millionaire or a businesswoman, taking over and running their financial life. I mean, it's amazing to see this happening. But do you have any strategy or any formula, let's say for a woman who has taken the courage to start a business, but they give up her job, security, comfort zone, and start her own business? But sometimes it happens, and I've seen quite a lot, in fact, that women just take that risk with very little savings. They start, but at some point they become nervous that they don't have people supporting them. They don't have funding. They don't have financial resources. And in fact, they expect they should have, but why should we expect? So in fact, we should earn our own. So how do you guys do this? How did you build this empire of luxury group and a multi-million-dollar business? So how did you do that? Is there any secret that you can share with us?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a secret. Everything goes down to the same thing, right? Like hard work and put yourself in a position.
Oh, no, don't tell us hard work. I don't think you guys are more hard worker than we are. So
no, I'm not saying that.
You are in a group. I'm joking. You are in a group of hard workers here. We really work hard. So tell us some secrets.
So I will tell you something that I've seen firsthand from working with a lot of successful women, right? Like my mother is my biggest inspiration. My girlfriend, who has won Influencer of the Year by Forbes, Pofit Golan, who also has like 3.5 million followers on social media, and we get to travel the world. I've seen her build a massive business out of her own personal brand. And when I start working with women that have reached massive success, I see one thing in common. They are relentless. They are relentless, but at the same time, they're doing something that they're passionate about. Most of the time, men are just following money. They don't care so much about what the impact will be. On the other hand, I see a lot of women, at least that I've faced, that they started something out of curiosity, out of passion, out of an idea that was deep down important for them. And I think that this something can be applied to anybody that is here today. Like, ask yourself, right? What is something that goes deep down to you? Start being more curious. Like, what is something that you will do that could revolutionize? And once you start doing something that you're more passionate about, then even if you fall down, you're going to fall down by doing something that you're passionate about. And people are going to start being more attracted to you. I always say that energy is the current currency for personal and professional success. So when you are in a position where you don't know whether you can make it or not, or how can I reach that financial success, I didn't start from a position of like, oh, wow, look, investors coming my way, so much money in the business, boom, things have been turned out amazing. No, I have zero investors. I actually raised zero capital. And the reason that this became a successful business was because I said, okay, how can I attract the right people? How can I work with the right people? And the energy was the only thing that I could control at that time. You start building knowledge over time. You start improving your craft. Then you start improving the way that you do business. But the first thing that you have control and that will really make a difference in your business and in your life is your energy. So I will say it again, energy is the current currency for personal and professional success. So anybody in here today that is either starting a business, that is currently going through some ups and downs, who is currently growing, put an additional fire into that energy, because that's what's going to be attracting the right people to you. And once you attract the right people, then more opportunities will come your way, whether it's the money, whether it's the new projects, whether it is the new partners, but it's going to come your way. Energy flows.
Spot on. You are coming straight to the answer that we want to hear, and we need to hear, in fact, because here's the thing. Yes, you're so right. We all the time hear people saying, oh, they want to have a good job, they want to have a great house, they want to have a helicopter, they want to have a good car, they want to have lots of money in the bank account, a good wife, a good husband. So we focus on the having, but our having is in the direct proportion of our being. So you first have to be that person that is fitting with helicopter. You have to be that person that is fitting with because you know the bank account is in direct proportion with your personal development. The higher you grow, the higher your energy, the bigger your clarity, the bigger your picture, the bigger your thoughts, the bigger your bank account, the bigger your life, and the bigger people you attract. So that is so true. First, let's focus on being. How important is for us to build ourselves, to raise ourselves to that higher level energy. And you just nailed it. It's absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for sharing that. What is something that you think people should develop, people should pay attention? Is the biggest factor, is like the not the biggest factor, is like the aha factor that we have to keep in mind. Or what was yours? What is, for example, somebody was saying, oh, we need support. Some people may say a good family, a good childhood, a good education, luck. So what is the main thing that we should have in consideration when we are ready to level up?
I'll tell you, since we are here in a very powerful community, I will use that word: better communities, better relationships. When you are connecting with the right people, you are unlocking so many new doors for a next version of yourself. Every time I meet someone that inspires me or that has done so many more things that I want to do in life, anything they're saying is just motivating me and unlocking new ways of thinking. And we're talking also about the way of how we can improve ourselves as humans, right? I always call the wheel of life. So there's different areas, and you have your career, financial, intellectual, relationships, physical, spiritual. Like just in 10 days, I'm going to be going for 10 days into a temple, disconnecting from everything in pure silence, meditation with monks. And this is something that it's not an easy thing for me to do. It's a new thing that I'll be doing, but it's also another way to connect with ourselves. You don't have to go that extreme route, but I always do a misogi, which is that big goal that pushes beyond my limits in each area of my life. I just mentioned at the beginning of this conversation how I just came back from the Sahara Desert, and that was by doing what is considered the toughest foot race in the world. That was my misogi for my physical area of life. And, you know, I always have that big goal that stretches me beyond my limits in each area. And you can always look into what is that big goal and what stretches you. And those goals are never going to be accomplished by yourself. So you can call it support, you can call it community, you can call it relationships, but whatever you are trying to accomplish in life, it needs to be something that pushes you beyond your limits. And once you have identified that, start looking around on what could be that support system. And it could be starting with your own home. It's like, okay, who do I have at home? Do I have the right people on my team? Are we all on the same page? Is my wife or my husband or my kids, are we all on the same page? Are we here to win together? Are we all aligned in this vision? And start putting your team, assemble your team so that no matter which direction you're going, you know that you have the right people around you.